Welcome to the Oregon Real Estate Agency's video on reconciling a client's trust account. It will provide you with an overview on how to complete a basic three-way reconciliation for a security deposit account, which is a special type of client's trust account. But the concept can be applied to any type of client's trust account. Just a reminder that client trust account reconciliations must be completed monthly and must be done within 30 days of the date on the bank statement. Before starting, make sure you have everything you need for the reconciliation. The most recent bank statement for the trust account, your check register or receipts and disbursements journal, and a reconciliation form. For this demonstration, we will be using the agency's basic client's trust account reconciliation form. This form can be found at www.oregon.gov/REA. Page 1 of the reconciliation form has the three parts required for a reconciliation. Page 2 has schedules A, B, and C that will be used to calculate the three parts needed on page 1. To start the reconciliation, fill in the name of the trust account. Then fill in the current date, your name, the month and year the reconciliation is being prepared for, the bank name, and the last 4 digits of the bank account number. The first part of the reconciliation is completed using the bank statement. Find the date on the bank statement and enter it in Part 1 here on the reconciliation form. Next, find the bank balance on the statement and enter the balance onto the form. Now you need to identify any deposits that were made before the bank statement date that have not cleared the bank. To do this, compare your bank statement to your check register or your receipts and disbursements journal and see which deposits have cleared the bank. In this example, the $1,500 deposit on December 2nd shows on the bank statement, so it has cleared the bank. But the $1,450 deposit on December 31st does not show on the bank statement. This deposit is outstanding and needs to be entered into Schedule A of the reconciliation form. Once you have found all the outstanding deposits and entered them into Schedule A, add them up. Take that total and enter it into Part 1 of the reconciliation form. Next, identify any checks or debits withdrawn from the client's trust account that do not appear on the bank statement. Compare the bank statement to the check register or the receipts and disbursements journal and check off any checks and debits that have cleared the bank. Any check or debit on the check register or receipts and disbursements journal not on the bank statement needs to be listed on Schedule B on page 2 of the reconciliation form. Include the check number, the payee, and the amount. Once you have found all the outstanding checks, total those checks that you have entered into Schedule B. Take that total and enter it into Part 1 of the reconciliation form. Now it's time to complete the calculations in Part 1. Take the bank statement total, add the total of all outstanding deposits, and then subtract the total of all outstanding checks. Enter the resulting total for Part 1. The information for Part 2 of the reconciliation is found on the check register or Receipts and Disbursements Journal. This must be reconciled to the same day as the bank statement, which for our example is December 31st, 2015. If there is no entry for that date, then you will want the last entry prior to that date. Take that balance and enter it into Part 2 on page 1 of the reconciliation form. Part 3 is the sum of all the positive balances of the individual security deposits and fees being held in the account on the same date as the bank statement. List the balance being held in the security deposit client's trust account for each individual tenant as of the date of the bank statement. Add these balances together on Schedule C, and then transfer this total to Part 3 of the reconciliation form. As a side note, if you are performing a three-way reconciliation on a client's trust account with owner's funds, in other words, an account that is not a security deposit account, the process for finding Parts 1 and 2 would be the same as in our example. However, the information for Part 3 would come from the positive balances of each owner's ledger as of the date of the bank statement. The balances would be listed on Schedule C, then the total would be entered into Part 3. The total of all three parts must be the same amount. If they don't match, then there is a mistake somewhere. Go through each bank statement entry and find the corresponding entry in the check register or Receipts and Disbursements Journal and in the tenant's ledgers. You may need to get out your deposit receipts and copies of checks to confirm your entries. If any adjustments are needed, clearly identify and explain it in the space provided. You must take action to resolve all adjustments made in the reconciliation prior to the next month's reconciliation, or document your good faith efforts to do so. The final step in the reconciliation process is that the person who is authorized to review and approve the three-way reconciliation must sign and date the form. This person is ultimately responsible for the accuracy of the reconciliation. Each monthly reconciliation and its supporting documents must be kept for 6 years after the end of the property management agreement for which the account was held. If you have any questions, please contact the agency at orea.info@state.or.us.